Hi, my name is Hannah Tonti, and I am in Journalism 107, and I am here with Vanessa, who was nice enough to let me interview her. So, hi, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'm going to be asking you questions about the RSJ Rock the Caucus event. So if you could just start off by telling me a little bit about what the event was actually about.
Sure. So RSJ Rocks the Caucus was an idea that was born out of the faculty retreat, which we have retreats at the start of every semester. We all get together, we check in on what's going on, administrative type things. But one of the cool things that came out of the retreat this year is a brainstorming session and how we can all as a faculty get involved with the caucus and the political events that are happening this year. So RSJ Rocks the Caucus, I believe, was an idea from one of our professors, Professor Patrick File, and then all of the faculty members came up with different ideas. So what we ended up doing as a result of several meetings was talking about how we could get students involved in a real political event. So RSJ Rocks the Caucus was caucus coverage. The Democratic caucus was on a Saturday, February 20th, and the Republican one was on the 23rd, which was a Tuesday night.
Okay. And how did you feel this event benefited the students who participated in it?
The turnout, I mean, we had a small group and a lot of faculty members volunteered their time, which was really awesome to see on a Saturday and on a Tuesday night, which is really neat. Yeah, we have really great faculty here. And so it was really nice because, we all got together in this informal setting outside of a classroom to talk about story ideas, and then the students went out and reported on a real thing. And the cool thing is we had tons of national media in town for both events. So students interacted with national media. They got to see how national media were covering it, but they gave it their own local spin and had the experience of not only conducting interviews, which as a practice, you have to practice interviewing people, but also just getting, familiar and comfortable with politics, and then coming back to the newsroom and having a bunch of different editors work with them and kind of talking through stories out loud, that always helps. And also the experience of working on a deadline is very real. So they came back, did a piece, and they were done with it by the end of the day. So all of that was really, I think, beneficial for students who perhaps don't get the experience that often.
Yeah, and that can also help them in the future with their careers for students who want to go on into journalism. So was it primarily just for journalism students, or was it open to others?
It was open to others, but as far as I know, only journalism students participated, and a lot of the work got published on the Nevada Media Alliance, which operates under a Creative Commons license, so other media outlets can pick it up, and students can use those published pieces as part of their portfolio.
Oh, okay. And how important do you think it is for students to get involved in political events such as the caucus? Not just primarily journalism students, but just students in general on campus.
I don't know about your feelings about politics, but when I was in college, I did not like politics.
Yeah.
And I forced myself to read the political section of the newspaper because I thought it was really boring. And now that I'm on the other side, I get a lot of students who tell me that politics are boring, they're not interesting, or they're intimidating because it seems really complicated.
Yeah.
And it can be intimidating when you have to interview a politician or you go to an event and you feel like you don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
So I think by doing this kind of work and coverage, I'm hearing from my students that they're feeling more comfortable in talking about politics. And it's actually really not that complicated. All you have to do is ask questions and be comfortable asking questions. So I would encourage, especially if you feel like it's not something you would be into, to make yourself go outside of your comfort zone and do it, because it's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
It impacts your life, and it's a good thing to know.
Yeah. And let's see here. And what was the dynamic of the event itself? When it first started, was there guidelines that you gave the students, a basis for them to work off of, or how exactly did the event play out?
There was a lot of choice, I guess. So we had our faculty who could give ideas, but we were also open to people coming to us with their own story ideas, and then the student, the reporter, could decide what medium they wanted to produce in, what story angle they would go with, and then come back and do it. And so, it was I wasn't here for the evening portion of the Republican caucus. I think we did a lot of that remotely because that was later in the evening. But for Saturday's Democratic caucus, I was here from 10 until 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
I did leave during the afternoon while people were reporting, but you know, it was kind of a free-flowing in the afternoon to just work with people on their edits.
Yeah. And how interesting was it to see students who are, you know, just starting out in journalism so eager to want to immerse themselves into this type of field and want to really start working on their skills now?
I mean, I think our students produce really good work, and I try to remind at least people in my class that the benefit of your perspective is that it's your perspective. And so there are lots of reporters who've been doing political coverage, and that's their career, and it's really nice to have these different perspectives. So it's really encouraging and it's super inspiring, and I think our students do really good work and shouldn't underestimate that their ideas are valid, and they also bring different flavors to their stories and the types of people they talk to and types of questions they ask. And I think coming from a place of truly wanting to understand gives the story, it makes the story also a little bit more digestible for other people who might be able to relate and feel like maybe I don't really get politics, but then they read this piece and suddenly it resonates or it makes sense. So
Yeah.
I love seeing our students jump into stuff like this.
And for the students who, you know, are kind of intimidated or afraid to immerse themselves in this type of field, what advice do you have for them to kind of, you know, overcome that and to start joining more clubs and attending more events like this to help boost their confidence and feel more comfortable?
Just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, I don't know, I think it do as many things as possible in your academic career, from internships to things like this, because all of those matter and help you get jobs and also help you stand out from your peers who aren't doing that kind of stuff. I wish we had way more people doing this kind of work, but those who are definitely standing out in our student population. So just do it. Or if you feel kind of intimidated the first time, like bring a buddy, do it with a buddy, and then just the more you can make yourself do things you're not comfortable doing, the better you will be at doing all things.
Alrighty, and any final thoughts on the Rock the Caucus event at the journalism school, or just the political thing in general?
Yeah, I mean, our general election isn't until November, so we have, what month are we in? We have like, how many months is that? 8 months.
Yes.
We have 8 months until the general election. We're going to have so many more things going on with our county, on a county level, state level, and also we have really important elections happening in our state. One of our senators is retiring. We have a bunch of congressional seats open. Our Reynolds City Council people are rerunning. I just got a notification today for a county commissioner that announced seeking re-election. So.
Wow.
That is arguably more important than our presidential election, because a lot of what happens on a local level has a direct impact on our lives. And so again, for people who think it's boring or who are intimidated, I would just encourage them to just try, or talk to faculty members who are super involved in political coverage, like my class and other people's classes in our building, because it's super accessible, and Nevada is unique in that we have really crazy access to politicians and people. So this is just the beginning. Like I think we're getting into the good stuff now.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in and interviewing.
Thank you.
Thank you.